Yeah, well, I've got to ask you about that 2017 season again. You suffered the injury. It's like everybody got injured that year. I mean, Clark
Yeah.
Schmidt went down, Tyler Johnson went down. And that season was a lot like 2019, the same team you were on, that it seemed like every weekend it came down to the last game and something happened and you guys would drop the series for whatever reason. I know the frustration had to mount. And then over the summer, Chad Holbrook steps down, whatever happens. He's no longer the head coach at South Carolina, goes to College of Charleston. Mark Kingston's hired. Back to Holbrook, though, when you heard of the news, did it surprise you? Like, what was your immediate reaction? You were talking about you didn't want to go to Clemson and, you knew Leggett was going to get fired. How did it – what was the thought process like there? Because, again, you just said you wanted to avoid that, and then you literally run into that same problem after your freshman year.
Yeah, see, like, I'm a realist, so I thought I was gone. Like, I sucked. I had a freaking 11 ERA. I was terrible. I mean, the coach just got – fired. I was really close with him.
So you thought they were going to cut you?
I thought the new
or you'd ask you to transfer or whatever. Like,
I thought Coach Kingston was legit going to come in because I put myself in their shoes. A guy comes in, he looks at the returners. Hey, this kid's got an injury that most people already don't come back for, and he had a freaking 30 ERA or whatever it was. Like, why is he even still here? So I was like, man, this is going to be a tough talk. But then Coach Myers called me like middle of the summer. And I guess he kind of had heard who was going to get the job, or maybe Coach King had just gotten the job. And he was like, hey, don't freak out. Like, we'll discuss this later on. And I told him, I was like, Coach, I understand. Like, if this is the conversation and this is the direction it's going, like, just kind of tell me. But he was like, nah, man, like, we'll figure it out going forward. Just kind of be in touch with me, everything else. And so I was like, all right, well, so that was kind of my mindset. It was just like, dang, where am I going to go play now? But, it definitely hurt. I think it was unfortunate, but I think there was a lot of accountability issues. I just feel like some guys, I don't know, they like to point the finger, when things are going bad, instead of pointing it at themselves. But, like, I had an 11 ERA. I felt like I got too many outings after that. Like, there's some guys that are batting 200 and thought they should be getting ABs and blaming the coach and doing this and that. And it was the same thing with any coach you play for, even in high school. And it's almost the problem with some people, man. There's just no accountability. So, for me, it was just like I was more disappointed because I felt like if I would have done my job better, maybe it wouldn't have happened. And it's even the same thing. Like when I played for Coach Kingston, it's just. I guess I'm a coach's kid, so I understand it because I saw, with my dad and how it is. You just feel bad when you let your coach down. And so that was more my mindset. I just felt like, man, maybe if I would have pitched better and could have, helped when T-John went down and when Clark went down, like this all wouldn't happen. Same thing in the 2019 season. Like, I was hurt, man. I had no business being out there sometimes, but I wasn't going to say I was hurt because other guys were. Other guys were saying they were sore and stuff. So I was like, well, I can't be that guy on top of it. Like, I've got to go at least try and give him some pitches, not let him throw a freshman who's obviously struggling. Like, so it sucks, man. When it's going bad, it really sucks.
Yeah. I hear you. You said you don't want to be that guy. Give some insight, though, to people of just like how hurt you were, because people don't. When you're a pitcher and your arm's hanging, that's literally your weapon right there. You're hanging every other day, and you're having to ice that thing. Especially, like I said, you recover from the rotator cuff, like so that I'm sure that because you had your best year as a sophomore. You go through the stats: 1.35 ERA, 21 appearances, 5 saves, 25 strikeouts. I know you and Graham kind of split the, as far as who was the closer or whatever, but you threw some big innings that year. Obviously, you everybody remembers the clip of you I think you struck out the last guy in the ECU regional or whatever. You threw some really big innings that year, but I think people just don't understand, like, when you're hurt and you're trying to throw and like it is just, it's nearly impossible. Like, and you battled through it. Kudos to you for that.
Yeah. So people who play with me, they're going to laugh at this because, I don't know. Well, I'll go ahead and say it. But so after SEC tournament, my arm felt like crap. And this was my sophomore year, so it felt like crap. And we had to shoot the regional next week. So, I go to the trainer. I'm like, hey, I need a cortisone. Like, let's get a shot to the arm. I just won't throw. Like, Coach Mead had already kind of told me, he was like, man, you know, just take what time you need. Just let me know when you can go. I was honestly like, I really wasn't the closer per se. It was more so if Eddie can't go, like, because Eddie was our guy.
Right.
But if Eddie couldn't go and they needed a guy to get ground balls or thought that like a righty was coming up or something, then I was the guy. And then towards the end of the season, it turned into me closing. So I started throwing more. And that's why, like I said, the SEC tournament, I felt like crap. And then, so I got a quarter zone, like, I think, maybe 4 days before the regional. And I remember throwing against ECU, like, felt fine. Everything felt fine. And then I think I either threw the next day or the day after. And that was, like, new for me. Because, like I said, with the injury, man, like, you can't recover. That's right. The problem is you just can't recover. And so I remember warming up to our bullpen catcher, and I was like, this was before Wilmington, and this was, like, the final game to go to the Supers. And I said, dude, you better tell me if it looks like crap. Am I still there?
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, I was like, you better tell me if it looks like crap. Like, I can't be going out there if it's 75. And he was like, no, you're good. You're good. Like, he was hyping me up.
Right.
And so I throw maybe 5 pitches. I'm like, screw it, whatever. Like, I don't care. If it sucks, it sucks. So I go out there, and my first warm-up pitch, because it flashes on the board, was 74. And I was like, Jesus, like, this is going to be bad. And next thing I know, I flip in the first pitch, like 78. I was just throwing fastballs that were probably changeups, just like rolling over it. And I got like 2 ground balls, a line drive. And next thing I know, we were heading off to the Supers. And I was like, I don't know how I did that, but let's go. Like, let's figure it out now in Arkansas. And it was the same way, man. Like, pure adrenaline, and thank God for quarter zone shots.
Throw now, ask questions later, for sure. I love it.
At that point, like, man, I'm not playing pro ball. Like, it's all to win now. I wanted to go to Omaha. That's what you come to South Carolina for. So at that point, man, I really didn't care. Like, if my arm blew out in Omaha, it did. Like, it really didn't matter.
For sure. So I do want to ask you about, because again, the 17 to 18 year, the bounce back for the team as a whole, not just for you, but the team as a whole, was huge. But obviously you go from Holbrook to Kingston. And again, I've talked to a lot of your former teammates just about the impact he had, the transition. From your perspective, though, what was it like? Because again, the 18 season was so interesting. You know, you guys got off to a slow start. Then the Presbyterian game happens. All hell breaks loose, I assume, in the locker room. And then this massive turnaround. You sweep LSU. It's like South Carolina just comes out of nowhere and goes on a tear. But just talk about that 18 season and the impact Kingston had, you know, so quickly it seemed. I mean, I talked to Stokesy and a couple of the hitters. I mean, it's like just guys he re-energized a lot of their careers, it felt like, guys at the plate especially.
Yeah. So it was just like, I don't know. I think it was a lot of guys who were fed up with how they played. I think, like, going back to that whole accountability thing, like, I honestly think after that Presbyterian, all those coaches just, like, they made you feel like, what are you doing? Like, I just remember him telling us, like none of us have earned anything. And what stuck with me is, like, even Coach Kingston was like, I haven't done anything here. None of you have done anything here. We're all at the same level. And so I think it just brought about, like, the camaraderie that, like, okay, we really all are on the same level. Like, we've got to figure this out together and not be a bust. Because a lot of kids on that team, I think 11, 12 drafted, and the way they had played before, like, that was not going to happen. They were not going to get drafted. So I think everybody it was kind of like they were pissed off that, you know, we hadn't done something in so long. The season was just going just like everybody thought it was. We were going to, you know, blow it or whatever, just be a buzz. So I think a lot of people just got fed up and were like, dude, I'm going to be the player I was supposed to be, and I'm going to hold myself accountable, and I'm going to go and ball out. And I honestly think that's just what it was like after that meeting. I know it's been talked about a lot, but, like, that's kind of what it was for everybody. But yeah, I mean, when he came in, it was just new, like, playing for someone new. It comes in, there's new rules. It's new everything. So you're just trying to kind of figure it out. You know, I was lucky enough that I got close with both coaching staffs. You know, I loved complete, I wouldn't say opposites, but, like, the way they coach, I guess, and the structure is a little bit different. But I mean, obviously both work. You know, Coach Holbrook's doing really well down at College Charleston, and Coach Kingston's got a great resume. So, and, we played really well that year, and I think they're going to be really good this year. So, I mean, it's any style can work. It's just a matter of having the right group of guys to buy in, and that's the biggest thing is the buy-in from the players. And like I said, we just held ourselves accountable that year and kind of figured it out.